WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
The longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow. You know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore. There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Lucas Twitch DeSangro.
How's it going, guys?
Another week, another bit of hilarity, insanity, and I don't know, as we're traveling on the road to WrestleMania, we're about to hit a roadblock.
Yes, indeed. Yes, we are.
That'll be tonight on the WWE Network.
I'll tell you what, I'm actually very excited for that.
Is it because it's in my home country of Toronto, dramatic pause, Ontario, Canada?
Yes, but not just that.
Yeah, no, of course it's not just that.
It's also because, you know, Ambrose is fighting for the title, and I think it's going to be a great special. It's not going to be like fantastic, but I think it's going to go well.
Well, here's something that I find interesting. They kind of did this on a whim, in a sense, about a month or so ago, and turned what was supposed to be a just standard WWE live event and turned it into a network special, but akin to the Phillies down in Clearwater with spring training, it's a split squad, essentially, because you've got...
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because you've got some of the roster in Toronto for Roadblock, but you have some of the roster in Atlantic City for a live event in New Jersey also tonight. So not everybody is necessarily going to be available for Roadblock.
Well, who wouldn't be available?
Well, the advertised main event for the Atlantic City event, which I'm intrigued to find out if anybody is going to that as opposed to watching Roadblock tonight, because we're within the driving distance to get to Atlantic City. So for those of you who might be going to that, kind of intrigued as to what your mindset is, you can give us a call at 215-949-3232 or toll free at 888-922-2149. But the advertised main event is a 30-minute Iron Man match for the Intercontinental Championship. Kevin Owens.
Oh, come on.
Against AJ Styles.
Oh, come on.
Well, you figure they've got to hit that kind of home run because of all of the other names that are going to be in Toronto for Roadblock. I mean, New Day's defending the tag titles at Roadblock tonight. You're going to have Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt up there.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
You're going to have Triple H and Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
So it's kind of...
But they're going to have AJ Styles and Kevin Owens and Iron Man. Oh, come on.
I was going to say, I think I just sold tickets with that, including to Lucas over here, apparently.
No, because we're going to be at your house watching the Roadblock special because we didn't ask to go to the Atlantic City show. So, yeah.
Well, it's probably better. It's probably for the better. You're like, I beg to differ on that. And boy, are you begging.
Oh, no, I'm not going to beg. I'm going to complain, but I'm not going to beg. You have two drop-worthy things in this first opening bit. The oh come on and the you know I'm not gonna beg. I'm gonna complain, but I'm not gonna beg.
Yeah, those are both wonderful, wonderful droppable things that I'm sure will get added to the vernacular somewhere along the way.
It's besides Roadblock, we have a packed, newsworthy show today. Especially the Hulkster and everything. Oh, I can't wait to get into that. I really can.
Yeah, the trials and tribulations, pun slightly intended, of the Hulkster continue. We'll get into that. Also, former ECW champion and NXT regular that's running for office. We've got that story coming your way. A new NXT book to be published.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll tell you about that coming up.
When it comes to books and wrestling, I'm your guy. Because I'm a nerd. There, updated drop. It's just an update. It's just droppable episode.
Yeah, you're just trying to get all of your shtick in, aren't you?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Also, well, not so good news for Philly fans, but the WrestleMania 33 location was announced. In case you missed that, we'll let you know where that's going on.
I mean, it's still a win-win, though. You really think about it.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. The latest Hall of Fame inductee has been announced. We'll get into that. Titus O'Neil speaking out regarding his suspension. Yeah, we'll tell you what he said there. And why is Ken Anderson no longer with TNA? Yeah, well...
Probably the same reason he's no longer with WWE.
It's a possibility.
He might, let's just put it this way, he might need a mic check after these two experiences.
That is certainly accurate. One thing that we're going to do, we'll get to it a little bit early here because the phone lines are lighting up a bit. Always a good thing here on this balmy March Saturday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Why am I using the word balmy? I don't know.
It's not even balmy. It's more like just it's very nice weather for this time of year.
It's nice. There we go.
I hope this weather continues on to next week. It would be a great time to have a birthday in this nice little warm weather.
It would. And I'll tell you of a couple of birthdays that are coming up near the end of the show, as we generally tend to do. But for the moment, we're going to go to the phones. We're going to get the look at the local scene, courtesy of Ed from Northeast Philly. Ed, what's going on?
Good afternoon. 2300 Arena tonight. The ROH Conquest Tour.
Oh, yeah, as if there isn't enough going on. Yeah, you've got WWE in Atlantic City, you've got Roadblock on the network, and you've got Ring of Honor here in Philadelphia.
I'll tell you what, though, there's a reason to go to Ring of Honor. We got 4 people from the Monster Factory tonight facing off against each other in a match.
This is very true. The Conquest Tour, mere 7 hours and change away.
We're going to have Gifted Punishment, former Monster Factory Tag Team Champions Punisher Martinez and QT Marshall versus LSG and Shaheem Ali, who were fresh off of their... 3 of the 4 were fresh off of their run in the Top Prospects tournament. All had a great showing. Yeah,
the finals of which was shown on TV earlier this week. Other matches, it looks like, advertised for it. You've got a triple threat tag team match of the Machine Guns, the Addiction, and the Young Bucks. Chris Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, and Nick and Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks. Obviously, I messed up the order. Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin are the Machine Guns, but you know where I'm going with that.
It's good. I'm glad that they were one of my favorite tag teams when they were in TNA, and that's like... it's going to be exciting to see them back in action, you know?
Plus, in a 6-man tag team match, Jay and Mark Briscoe are teaming up with Cheeseburger to take on War Machine and Moose.
Ooh.
Yeah. And, of course, your main event, Matt Sydal against Jay Lethal for the ROH World Championship. You're disliking the fact that you're not able to go to that either. That's just some of the matches advertised.
And Dalton Castle on the card, too.
Yeah, Dalton Castle's on the card. ANX is on the card. Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, they're taking on Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. And there's also an IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match as well with Kushida and ACH.
Yeah, you mentioned AC this weekend.
That's tonight, yeah.
Tomorrow is in Hershey.
That's right, yeah. Tomorrow WWE is going to be in Hershey, PA. So go out there, watch a little wrestling, get some chocolate. Good times all around.
Rolling Philly coming up, too.
Yeah, it's a fun time to be a wrestling fan in the Philadelphia area. And I know you've been hearing the spots, and we'll be playing another one in a little bit. Yeah, they'll be in Trenton 2 weeks from tonight, actually.
Again?
WWE.
Tonight's in Atlantic City. What am I saying? New Jersey's New Jersey for some reason. I don't know why. When it comes to WWE, it's either Trenton or Atlantic City or Newark. They do Newark, don't they?
Yeah, they do Newark. In fact, I'll tell you a little bit more about an event coming up to Newark in a little bit. One of the other stories I didn't get to.
And next roast beef coming up. Lex Express in about 3 weeks.
For WrestleMania, special event for WrestleMania, Nick's Roast Beef on Cotman Avenue, Northeast Philly.
To Payback.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're trying to make up for the Royal Rumble where the Lex Express hit a snowbank or two, and they couldn't exactly have the Royal Rumble event there because that huge winter storm Jonas made its way through our area. Gosh, crazy to think how that was almost 2 months ago now, and now here we are in wonderful, wonderful, roughly what are we at? 60-degree weather right about now.
Yeah.
We need it.
Yeah.
Most certainly. It is unseasonably warm for March, but I will take it.
That's
Yeah.
valid.
Anytime and every time.
Oh God, it's great. It's great to like walk out and be able to wear either jeans or shorts, and not have to worry about like sweating too much or freezing too much.
Yeah.
What stinks is I'm not gonna be able to wear my leather jacket as much. So
Aw.
yeah, I know. I like wearing my leather jacket.
Gives you that Gene Ambrose look.
That's about it.
All right, thank you so much, Ed, for the call. Greatly appreciate it. If I could describe the look on Lucas's face right now,
It's wanting to shout an expletive at him, but not having the clearance, nor the just not having the clearance to shout the expletive. So being frustrated about both those things.
yeah, I know somebody who knows a little thing or two about being frustrated.
Frustrated isn't the word for it. This is bullshit. So much injustice around here. I've had it up to here.
Is that pretty spot on how you're feeling there?
Not quite.
Not quite, but close.
You're borderline in it right now. I'm already having to deal with not being able to see everything on Ring of Honor, everything in Atlantic City. So, yeah.
So you're feeling it, to say the least.
I'm definitely not mildly tittered.
Perturbed, perhaps?
Maybe a little bit
Flustered?
flustered. Flustered isn't the gosh darn word for it. If we're gonna go the Ned Flanders route, diddly doodly neighbor.
All right, well, we're going to go doodly one of those commercial Italies, and we'll be back with more insanity here. A lot of the news notes. We've got room for your phone calls. We've got Facebook feedback. Joseph chiming in on a couple of things. We'll get to that. And are we getting political again? Well, I guess it's kind of at the tail end of last week's show, we did talk a little bit of Donald Trump and John from Northeast Philly having a little bit of fun with that. So, yeah, we'll get into that. We've got news and notes as well as our predictions certain to go wrong for the Roadblock WWE Network exclusive.
Yes, that's going to be an extra thing to tack onto the...
Yeah, it's a tack onto the predictions, as we tend to do.
So I get to touch that record I've been keeping in my journal. Let's see who can come out on top. You're right now currently beating me for predictions this year, and I hope to keep up my I'm hoping to have a win streak. I'm just saying.
Well, we'll certainly find out tonight. Also want to let you know this just kind of being brought in over the course of the last couple of days. George's Cards and Collectibles. They're presenting their next wrestler signing event Saturday, April 30th from 12 to 2 p.m. at their Neshaminy Mall store. A bird. That's right. WWE Hall of Famer, the Birdman, Coco Beware. Go check him out Saturday, April 30th from noon to 2 at George's Cards and Collectibles in the Neshaminy Mall. As you know, George's Cards and Collectibles has been the leading collectibles store in the tri-state area for over 20 years. They have 3 locations, their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Levittown, as well as in the Willow Grove Park Mall and in the Neshaminy Mall in the movie theater wing. Get the latest info on George's Cards and Collectibles at their website, georgescollectibles.com, as well as through George's Cards and Collectibles on Facebook.
That's going to be fun. He's returning to the George.
Yeah, he's been around before for some other fun things.
He was one of the when I first started watching the Hall of Fame, my first Hall of Fame ceremony. He was inducted that year, 2009. So
when you were actually allowed to stay up that late?
You mean when I wasn't allowed to stay up that late?
Oh, and you did it anyway. You little rebel, you.
I know, Gene Ambrose, as he would say.
There you go. All right, we'll be back. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
He's got
man.
the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so he might have to...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe. Gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
One thing that is fun, though, this program, Pro Wrestling Weekly, the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
17 years. And we're coming up on 7 years for you at the helm of this fine program.
Actually, yeah. This Monday will mark 7 years to the day that the crossover show, I guess, for lack of a better term, the Passing of the Torch show, where Eric Argiulo introduced me to the lovely listening audience, and they've been stuck with me ever since.
You still got it. You still got it. Never lost it. Sorry. I'm not sorry.
I was going to say, what are you, Sam and Kyle down at the Monster Factory with your random chants?
You deserve to be recognized for that, okay? You're at the helm, and you've been doing a pretty damn good job. Fine.
Well, thank you.
Young lad. You know.
What can I say? I try to give things to the people because, as we all know,
Brothers got needs.
yes, they most certainly do. And they got need for information.
Ah, yes. The trials
where to start here?
And tribulations of the Hulkster continue.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say a couple of little tidbits with the man with the 24-inch python's brother.
Okay, so Hulk Hogan's beach shop in Clearwater Beach, Florida, was evacuated and declared unsafe last Saturday. The Tampa Tribune's Paul Guzzo reported that... I said that right.
Guzzo, yeah.
Reported... it's too close to saying Gazzardo,
yeah.
So...
Who is one of the referees for the Monster Factory, and we'll actually be hearing from him on next week's program, giving a little insight as to what it's like being a professional wrestling referee.
That's going to be... we got some practice of that last night at the Monster Factory. It's a lot of...
Yeah, talking about practice.
No games. Practice. And
not the match. We talking about practice.
So Guzzo reported that Hogan was signing autographs on the second-floor balcony when attendees felt the building shift. The fire marshal then closed the building until the owner had a structural engineer... No, sorry. The fire marshal then closed the building until the owner has a structural engineer determine whether it's safe to occupy. Yes, the building shifted, just like fans' loyalty to the Hulkster in 1993.
Oh, man.
I'm not even sorry for that one. That was good. That was a damn good joke.
Boo!
Thank you, Nick. Your input is always appreciated.
Dang!
Had me giggling I miss you, Nick. And
yes, we do. But I feel bad because unfortunately he's passed. But I was going to say, would the shifting of the building have anything to do with John Tensa, perhaps? Yeah, earthquake.
This is for not letting me get that main event spot.
Yeah, exactly. This is for beating me at SummerSlam 90 in Philly.
As if that wasn't enough to deal with. The civil trial involving Hogan and Gawker Media started this past Monday in St. Petersburg, Florida, and oh boy, as Danny Cage would say.
Yeah, that's true.
How fun has this been? There's certain things that we can't get into. But, I will get into them on the Facebook fan page because it is just hysterical. Go
on.
It's become such a joke. As previously mentioned, Hogan is suing Gawker for $100 million. Cue Dr. Evil Voice, for invasion of privacy because the website ran the sex tape involving him and Heather Clem that was filmed without his knowledge. To add the absurdity of the trial, the defendant, Gawker, is streaming the trial live. So Gawker just doesn't give. They don't give a darn.
Well, I guess there are two ways of figuring. One, by streaming it, it'll just get more attention to their site if they win. And if they lose, they figure, you know what? We're going out of business anyway. Why the heck not?
I can't help but love and hate Gawker for doing this, because it's like, that's just being one, that's being a jackwagon, but two, that is hilarious. Like, I don't like either of the people in this trial, so I just think let it burn. Just pour some more gasoline and light another match, please.
Well, I was going to say, I'm just mad at Gawker because they exposed Hogan's Python brother. And not the 24-inch one, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, oh boy. Hoyo. Oh, goodness.
Giggity, 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 giggity. Ow.
Oh wow, where the heck do you go from that? You know what? Let's I was gonna say, let's get things a little bit more suitable, a little more political here.
Yeah.
Former ECW champion and NXT regular Terrence Guerin. Who's that? Well, he's better known as Rhino.
Gore.
Yes, he's running for the state representative for his district in Dearborn, Michigan. Rhino telling WWE.com that despite the political aspirations, we haven't seen the last of him in the ring. He said, quote, "I'm 40, I can still wrestle full-time, and I can still do this. Represent people and give them someone they can be proud of."
He's still got it. I mean, watching him in NXT, he's put on some good matches. Really good matches.
This is even better. His campaign slogan, "I'll fight for you."
That's a bit. Will he be doing like a Bob Backlund sort of gimmick, like post?
Oh gosh, when Backlund was apparently running for president.
Well, no, I thought he was like a congressman or something.
Well, no, he did have some. I thought you were talking about the actual storyline in '96, I believe it was, '95 or '96, where Mr. Backlund gave his aspirations for running for the presidency, and that was pre-Monica. Yeah, that was the thing back then.
What did that have to do with anything?
Well, they did a little storyline in, I think, I want to say 97, because that's where it all goes back to, where Mr. Backlund was discussing some things with President Clinton, and I use that in inverted commas.
Was he still wrestling in 97?
Well, he was still around. He was making appearances.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
No, that is cool.
Yeah, I don't think he was wrestling by that point, but they brought him in for, I guess, comic relief. He was kind of the pre-right to censor in a sense. With a lot bigger words, like plebeian.
I'd like to see people, I'd like to see WWE do that. Like, I like when they bring in Santino, because Santino I thought he was a funny guy. I thought he was funny. And
a real funny guy.
Yeah. Put him in Stardust in more segments. That would be great. Just, Stardust isn't a comedy gimmick, but he's just purely entertaining.
Well, he's a character.
And we need more of that in wrestling. But that's a different story. Yeah, it's a different.
Like Twitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Twitch.
Why not?
Somebody has to.
So, speaking of characters, you always see characters in books and such, but ECW Press running a little bit of a different approach with the. I don't know where I was going. I was trying to segue.
That was a nice attempt. That was a nice job attempting a segue.
Just give me a cookie and pat me on the head, and we'll be fine.
Okay, next commercial break we'll do that. Wrestling book publisher ECW Press, which has done a litany of different books, autobiographies, and whatnot in the wrestling world.
Actually, a book I'm currently reading, Pride and Passion. It's a book about Stampede Wrestling.
Mm-hmm. I believe they had the autobiography of Larry Zbyszko. I mean, they've done a bunch over the years. But they're set to release a book in the spring of 2017 titled NXT, The Future Is Now. It follows the rise of NXT from its conception to becoming WWE's newest global brand, and a lot of people would say hottest as well.
Yeah.
Readers can view how NXT came to be from the opening of the WWE Performance Center to WWE's new forward-thinking approach to talent development. See how Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, Paige, Charlotte, and other new stars have broken into WWE more prepared than any generation before. With new insightful interviews from Triple H, NXT trainers, superstars, and divas, fans will learn how the future is indeed now.
Oh, hell yeah, it is. Speaking of NXT, we're going to, coming up later in the show, we're going to be talking about Roadblock, one of the matches, NXT Tag Team Championship match.
It is true, as Brooke St. Ives would say here at WBCB. And oh man, the Facebook fan page. I should get into this right now, if I can breathe my way through it. Well, a couple of things. Joseph chiming in this past Monday on Raw. It looks to me like WrestleMania is all about Shane, Vince, and Triple H. So what if Shane wins? The novelty will wear off, and you will see more of the same down the line when Shane eventually and predictably turns heel. Thus, more authority crap. Watch and see if this isn't some sort of crap McMahon swerve already.
Quite a jaded view lately, Joseph.
Well, I guess now that the novelty of Shane McMahon's appearance has kind of worn off, I think it's given people the opportunity to look at it through less rose-tinted glasses.
I don't think... Okay, let's put it this way. Maybe with Shane McMahon running Raw, let's say that they do less of an authority thing, and maybe it's more of like... You can still be a heel general manager without...
Or authority figure or
without
something.
having to do the whole authority thing. You can still just have a general manager that makes appearances every once in a while, books a tag match, and holla holla, but...
Are you advocating for Teddy Long to come back, playa?
I wouldn't mind it, but I'm saying, leave it more to the wrestlers to make the storylines and have the general manager come out every now and then and, book a match or two, but...
Kind of like Jack Tunney.
Yeah, like a supporting role. We need more of that, and, Shane McMahon being the general manager, that hopefully that's the approach they're going with.
You're just afraid that we're going to have more of this.
Oh, did someone not get what they wanted? Oh, that's too bad.
I actually liked that. That was great. Triple H has been very fun to listen to on the mic. But Dean Ambrose was like the interview he did with WWE.com. It was the gimmick is just like, oh, that's cute. Little so-and-so wants to fight for the title. That's cute. Like, he's just being very, patronizing.
And condescending, yeah.
But then when he loses, he'll say, well, that was, congratulations, you got one up. But then when you pull a fast one, that's a great heel. He's always been good at being a heel.
Well, that's because, again, it's taking his character and turning it up to level 11, and that's being a Richard. He's pretty good at it.
Oh, yeah.
In sometimes a likable way and sometimes not so likable of a way.
Speaking of being a Richard, though, certain...
I thought you were going to turn this into me somehow.
Oh, no.
Not this time?
A certain former TNA...
we're going to get to that now?
Yeah.
I was going to say, actually, can we... we'll get into it now. Why the heck not? So, according to ProWrestlingSheet.com, Ken Anderson... His release from TNA earlier this year was reportedly due to a failed drug test. Anderson was allegedly under the influence during a January 19th match against Eric Young that was so poor that it didn't air on television as planned. TNA officials tested Anderson afterward and sent him home. However, neither Anderson nor TNA have confirmed nor denied the alleged allegations. Gotta love those alleged allegations.
Allegedly,
exactly. It's all allegedly. Though Anderson drew attention to the situation by playing into the fan chants of TNA during an independent event over the weekend. He agreed with the crowd's sentiment while noting that he no longer worked for the company.
Well, I'm just gonna not defend Mr. Anderson per se, but it was ICW.
I was going to say, are you also essentially saying TNA?
No, I'm just saying that you were ICW, which was that's the promotion run by Paige's family, correct?
I think so, yeah. This was over in the UK.
Yeah, in the UK. And we all know how, I'm assuming that most of the fans were consuming some beverages. I'm just going to put it this way. He may feel that way, yes, but that was also the right thing to say to pop the crowd. You know how these UK fans can get. We all know. And not just in wrestling, in general. They can be very crass. So while he may have felt
a little bit of hooliganism, would you say?
Yes. It might have been, it was most likely the right thing to say to get over. Now, not that he doesn't need to, not that he needs to get over with this crowd. I'm just saying that's even more of a way to drive the point home that this guy's the man. in front of this crowd.
Okay, John from Northeast Philly is going nuts on the Facebook fan page here. In reference to our discussion of Roadblock, he says the tiebreaker for predictions certain to go wrong since it's a Saturday, quote, pay-per-view. Regarding the Anderson thing, Mr. Anderson/Kennedy had some choice words about TNA while doing an indie show, as we just said there. Same choice of words he made when he departed WWE. Unfortunately, he only ends up getting hurt more than he hurts feelings. And he also says, reportedly, his final match in TNA with Eric Young was a reimagining of the incident that occurred with Jeff Harvey and Sting. Hopefully that's not the case, however.
Jeff Hardy's a touchy subject on this program.
For you, yes. Bigger pop for debut. AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble or Spider-Man finally arriving at the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Ooh.
Both were phenomenal, my web heads.
I
will defer to you on this one because, comic and movie things and whatnot, I'm not quite up on.
I'm excited for Spider-Man, but I was more excited for AJ Styles. Don't get me wrong, I like I'm just more of a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man guy myself.
And finally, John chiming in, make the new general manager anonymous, makes it more intriguing.
Yeah, it's... Do we really need that again, John? Is that what you want? Is that what you'd be proud of as general manager? Just a cluster, all of it.
Yeah, they're definitely a cluster. All right, we're going to take a moment here to let you know about what's going on a couple of weeks from now, and we'll be back in a little over a minute.
Trenton, WWE is about to take over as WWE VIP Experience presents WWE Live Road to WrestleMania. Back in 2016, Saturday night, March 26th at Sun National Bank Center. Anything can happen just 1 week away from WrestleMania. You'll see the world's largest athlete, The Big Show.
I'm 7'2", I'm 500 pounds.
One-on-one with the new face of fear, Bray Wyatt.
You're already lost.
Then,
I am more man than you ever will be.
Alberto Del Rio challenges Kalisto for the U.S. Championship. All this and more on a special Daniel Bryan night.
Yes!
Saturday night, March 26th at Sun National Bank Center. It's the best value in entertainment. Tickets start at just $15. Don't wait. Great seats are available now at the box office and ComcastTix.com.
So there you go. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, now's a heck of a time to do so because that's going to be a fun event, to say the least.
Enough said.
Love how we have to kind of adjust things because there are 3 of those commercials in the hour. I'm breaking the fourth wall again. Hey, Cole Cabana.
How you doing?
Yeah, there are 3 of those commercials for the hour, but we only take 2 commercial breaks, so we kind of have to shoehorn another one in.
Yes.
Crazy how that works out. One thing that's not getting shoehorned in, another Hall of Fame induction. Or another inductee, I should say. And this one, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, it's a long time coming. You really think about it.
Ray Traylor, best known as the Big Boss Man, has been named the newest inductee to the 2016 class of the WWE Hall of Fame. The Big Boss Man joined by The Godfather, The Fabulous Freebirds, and Sting. Kind of a tale of 2 careers for WWE as far as Traylor went. Of course, he came in as the Big Boss Man in the late 80s and had a nice run initially as a heel, tagging with Akeem,
The African Dream.
Yeah, there's a certain jive motion that I'm making here in the studio that I realize is not going over well to the audience, but
because they can't see it.
Yeah, because they can't see it. But if you remember Akeem, you know that particular motion. It was kind of hysterical, and eventually turning face and having a nice mid-card run, even challenging for the Intercontinental Championship on an occasion or 2.
Yeah.
And then by 93, 94, I believe he made his way over to WCW and initially was called The Boss. And then WWE said, hey, that's too similar to what we already have. Don't do that. And they made him the Guardian Angel for a little bit. I don't know if you remember that even a little bit.
No.
Yeah, it's probably for the better. Before initially going back to what he was known prior to WWE, and that was the Big Bubba Rogers character. And then he kind of had a resurgence of his career coming back to WWE as essentially a security head with the corporation, with Vince McMahon and everything that was going on from 98 until...
the prequel to S.H.I.E.L.D. with him and Bull Buchanan.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that version of the Boss Man. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, his music, not so much, though.
Yeah.
A
lot of them,
yeah.
a lot of them, like, it was hit or miss with Attitude Era, like Jim Johnson riffs, you know?
I think what killed it for me was the WrestleMania anthology where they dubbed over Hard Times with that theme, and it just felt so out of place.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was a 98, 99 theme in 1990, 91.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel right.
Doesn't make sense.
It'd be like hearing Nirvana during the disco era. It just wouldn't...
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, that would definitely be like hearing, like, the Rockers come out to Nirvana. That would be weird.
Which is odd because the Rockers were around the same time that Nirvana started to... Yeah, it was 92 that they broke up.
Well, yeah, but they were
the
around
Rockers,
in, like, the
not
80s.
Nirvana.
Yeah, the 80s. That was when they were, like, late 80s.
This is true. All right, some other news, notes, tidbits, and otherwise here before we take care of a little bit more business. WWE officially confirming that the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida will be the location for WrestleMania 33, and that'll be held on April 2nd, 2017. It'll be the second WrestleMania that Orlando has hosted, as WrestleMania 24 emanated from the same venue in 2008. Also of note, John Cena appeared at the press conference in Orlando on Tuesday and conceded that he will not be able to wrestle a match at this year's WrestleMania due to his shoulder injury. So he was rehabbing like crazy to try to get back, but it just could not happen.
True. At the same time, though, it's a shame that Cena won't be able to make it to WrestleMania this year, but it'll make a great story for next year's WrestleMania for his match.
This is true, kind of a comeback type deal.
And also, a lot of Philly fans are upset, but hey, Orlando, NXT, it's enough said. You're going to see I feel like you'll see a lot of great caliber matches.
Well, here's the other thing. WrestleMania next year will be maybe about 3 weeks or so before Cena's, this is going to sound scary to a lot of listeners out there, Cena's 40th birthday. How crazy is that?
How old was he when he debuted in 2002?
I want to say either just before or just after his 25th birthday.
Damn.
Yeah, time flies, doesn't it? Well, think about it. I mean, you've been here with this show almost 2.5 years.
Yeah, 15. I'm going to be 18 next Friday, so...
Yeah, shame it isn't on a Saturday, so we could do a special birthday edition for you.
I mean, we could still do a birthday edition because we're doing a show the day after.
Well, true, but I mean, we'll be down at the MFPW arena, and it'll be a whole, yeah. We'll figure something out. Anyway, we'll go ahead and take care of our second bit of business here, and then we'll come back. We've got another injury story to get into, as well as Titus O'Neil.
And we also have what's going to be going on at the Monster Factory.
Yes, that's true. There's certainly a lot going on there, but a little bit later than usual. But time for me to tell you about my friends over at, well, our friends, really. I mean, you're friends with them, too.
Yeah.
Maybe acquaintances, just because you're not over there nearly as often as I am, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, today is a jam-packed day over at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Starting at 2:30 this afternoon, this is a treat for those who like a little breakfast with their brew. The Waffles and Wedges food truck will be on the complex.
Ooh.
Yeah, I looked at their menu and, ooh. I was going to say, you may want to take a trip with me over to there a little bit later. I'm just saying. Waffles with a litany of either sweet or savory toppings. And then, of course, potato wedges topped a bunch of different ways as well. Yeah, it's it is looking very good. I'd go over most of them, but I'm already hungry, and that won't add to the mix. But you definitely want to go over there for that. Plus, tonight at 8, the mighty Sherwood Brothers return to the B-Gob stage with a full band for 3 hours of killer tunes. Now, as far as what's on tap for the Broken Goblet, Well, 7 of their delicious brews are available, including the newest edition of Bubba's Tea Bag, an American pale ale brewed with cinnamon plum tea. Plus their Angry Troll Amber Ale, Yin Yang Oatmeal Stout, Impact IPA, and Under Her Spell Saison, just to name a few. All the reason to head on over to the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. And who knows, you might see me over there. Well, if nothing else, you'll probably see me in front of the Waffles and Wedges truck. Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah, it does. It's going to have syrup too, right?
Oh, of course.
Of course, it better.
I'll, you know what, during this next time out, I'll go over some of the things that they have there, and you're probably going to hate me because it's going to make you really want waffles now.
Yeah.
That's usually how these things go. Yeah, still a lot to do here. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, March 12. On this date in 2000, ECW held its Living Dangerously pay-per-view. In the main event, Super Crazy defeated Rhino to win the vacant ECW World Television Championship. On this date in 2001, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Knoxville, Tennessee. In the main event, Diamond Dallas Page defeated Rick Steiner by disqualification. On this date in 2006, TNA held its Destination X pay-per-view. In the main event, Christian Cage pinned Monty Brown to retain the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2012, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Cleveland, Ohio. In the main event, Randy Orton pinned Jack Swagger. This has been Today in Wrestling History, March 12. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry and Lucas Twitch DeSangro, a very hungry Lucas Twitch DeSangro after I told him a little bit more about that Waffles and Wedges truck. You hate me so much right now.
Hate isn't strong enough right now, Fearon. That was. I'm joking, obviously. But
yeah.
Yeah.
This is very much true. All right, some more news to get into here, and then our predictions starting to go wrong for Roadblock tonight. Well, we mentioned John Cena's shoulder injury keeping him out of WrestleMania, and speaking of injuries, former WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins is working out in a pro wrestling ring again. That's right, just 4 months after undergoing major knee surgery. According to ProWrestlingSheet.com, Rollins has been working out at the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy in Illinois.
Doesn't he have a school?
I'm not sure. Rollins underwent surgery on November 11th, and the timeline for his return was listed as 6 to 9 months, which could put his return potentially anywhere between May and August. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all.
Also, Titus O'Neil. He spoke with Rapzilla.com about the incident with Vince McMahon that led to his 60-day suspension. In the interview, he said, quote, "I made a mistake at an inopportune time. Regardless if it was too harsh or overreacting or whatever people have deemed it, it all stems from my mistake. Whether I agree with it or not, I am owning it. I'm doing what I'd normally do in any other situation." Now, in response to those, including Batista, who were telling him that he should leave WWE, he said, quote, "I can go and coach, I can do a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, I've never quit on anything in my entire life." So it looks like O'Neil is going to at least ride out his contract with WWE and then see where things are going from there. At least that's my guess. Also, WWE announcing that the Payback pay-per-view will be held on May 1st in Chicago, Illinois at the Allstate Arena. I'm sure Dan from Chicago is going to be annoyed about this because this will be the third time in 4 years that Chicago has played host to Payback.
Yeah. Why would he be upset about that, though?
Well, he's probably like, well, come on, we should have a Royal Rumble or something, or, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, 3 weeks after that, Extreme Rules comes to Newark, New Jersey on May 22nd.
So wait, they're doing Payback then Extreme Rules?
Yep. They decided to flip-flop them.
That's different.
Well, I guess it makes sense. It's similar to how after WrestleMania in the early 2000s or early to mid 2000s, you would have the Backlash pay-per-view in either late April or early May. And it would usually be the backlash of whatever happened at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So a similar type deal, just different name. And speaking of other specials, the WWE Network might have a special coming from London this fall.
Ooh. That's
right. WWE's UK Twitter page hyped a Live in London event for Wednesday, September 7th at the O2 Arena. The venue's advertising features that it's a one-off special, indicating that it could be a WWE Network special. So another possible 3 p.m. broadcast here on the East Coast.
That means I'd have to rush home from, well, no, when they did the NXT TakeOver special, that was like in the afternoon. I was still at school when they were doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, plus by that point, you'll be, well, it'll depend on what classes you have as far as college.
Yeah, true.
I know you haven't thought that far ahead yet, but he's like, don't remind me of no good. Beep. Once again. Oh, and speaking of things that you want to curse at, according to MMAfighting.com, Ken Shamrock and Kimbo Slice failed drug tests at Bellator 149.
Why would I want to curse that? That's
well, just
terrible.
that whole event was a debacle, and yeah. Both men were suspended by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation pending an adjudication process. The banned substances that both men have failed for were not released. Oh, sweet mercy. What can you do? What can you say? What can you do, as Denny O tends to say. All right. Here we are, hitting the roadblock on the way to WrestleMania later tonight. Predictions starting to go wrong. 5 matches advertised for the card. First of all, we've got Charlotte and Natalya. I'm going with Charlotte just because.
Here we go. Here are the predictions. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Charlotte. It's a non-title match, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to go Charlotte.
Let's see. The other non-title match, Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt.
Yes. Lesnar.
Yeah, I'm thinking they got to make Lesnar look. Lesnar has to look strong going into Mania, taking on Dean Ambrose.
It's just one of those things. Like, it's sad because I would want Wyatt to go over, but it's like, what are they planning for Bray Wyatt at this point?
That's an excellent question. You've got 3 title matches. First of all, I was going to say the tag title match, but there's 2 of those as well. We'll go NXT next. The Revival. Dash and Dawson taking on Enzo and Cassidy for the NXT tag team titles.
Enzo and Big Cass all the way. They got to win this.
Oh, you're thinking Enzo and okay. I'm thinking that the Revival somehow retain. I'm going to go different with you on that. You'll probably end up being right, but
I just think it's time. It's time for them to win.
And the WWE tag titles, the New Day taking on the League of Nations.
New Day retains.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you on that one. And then finally, Triple H and Dean Ambrose, your boy, for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Triple H.
How can it not be Triple H?
In fact, if it is Dean Ambrose, I will be very surprised. I'd want it to happen, but at the same time, that just puts a wrench in Mania. I feel like, or maybe even better, I feel like Ambrose would win, but if Ambrose is going to win, it's going to be like by disqualification or something like that.
Possibly, yeah. I'm saying Triple H will definitely retain heading into Mania. So there we go. We've got perfect timing. About a minute and a half left, so that means it's time for
birthdays.
You definitely are the Curly of this operation. Ted Efall, I guess, would be Larry, and I'd definitely be Mo in that regard. Spread out. Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting. All right, on this date in 1923, Johnny May Young was born. The WWE Hall of Fame women's wrestler passed away in 2014 at the age of 90.
God.
That's 2 years ago was in January was when Mae Young passed. Certainly one of the greats. On this date in 1972, James Maritato was born. The former WWE and ECW superstar, known both as Little Guido and Nunzio, turns 44 today.
Interesting.
Yeah, had him on the show, a while back, probably like 5-6 years ago now. On this date in 1979, Nydia Guinard was born. The former WWE women's wrestler, manager, and co-winner of the first season of WWE Tough Enough, known as Nydia, turns 37 today.
Who was she in? Was she Nydia and WWE?
Yeah, Nydia was. Yeah, she and Maven were the co-winners. Among the other finalists, pretty much all of whom ended up in WWE, including Chris Nowinski before his concussions, and Josh Lomberger, who would better become
Josh
Matthews. And finally, on this date in 1981, Kenta Kobayashi was born.
Wait. I got this. Hideo Itami.
Yes, the Japanese superstar known in NXT as Hideo Itami turns 35 today. So happy birthday to all of you and those who might be sharing a birthday with those individuals. We'll be back next week, I'm mostly certain, from the MFPW Arena down in Paulsboro. I'm going to say Cameo is all about here. You can definitely tell it's a certain kind of weekend. Anyway, before Teddy Faw's cracking up at that, that's going to pretty much do it for us, because what else do we got? Well, if we got anything else, I'm going to get in trouble.
That's what you have right here.
Oh, yeah, we have a cameo. Jim Foxwell. If you smell what the fox is cooking, morning man Jim Foxwell stopping into WBCB for a brief moment just to create some insanity and who knows what the heck else. All right, that's going to just about do it. We'll be back next week. Play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock in Oswego.
Serving you better than ever before. This is 1490 WBCB Levittown.